so glad you're here. And the one thing, Stephanie, that I'm really passionate about is educating women on how their skin actually works. Because if you understand how your skin works, then you're an educated consumer and you really know what to look for when you maybe aren't getting results, and you'll understand why I'm not, know what to adjust, or you will see the benefits of what you're doing. Because so many times we do things and with skincare or cleansing, and we really don't see that much results, and it's just very frustrating, and then it winds up in our drawer and we don't use it. So I think the first thing that is critical is women really understand how their skin works. It's not necessarily the potions and the lotions. A lot of it is an order of what you're doing to cleanse, and I'm really big about cleansing the skin, like teaching women how to cleanse their skin well. Because it doesn't matter if you use serums, if you use anti-aging products or whatever, if that skin is not clean, it's just like your hair. If your hair's not clean, how's it going to absorb proteins or, layer with even styling aids that you get too much of a buildup. So we're going to go through sort of the steps of skin and how it works. And I wrote a curriculum many years ago for a self-improvement school, and when I finished my research, I couldn't find a skincare line that backed up my curriculum, and I'm like, I'm not changing the curriculum because the skin works one way. And what I also found that was interesting is there are a lot of lines that are for oily skin or for dry skin, but not necessarily normal skin. And so when you get on a line, let's say if you have oily skin and you get on that line, then you usually stay oily. So I felt that was really a questionable thing. I was like, why couldn't we work on normalizing the skin? So that's been my whole philosophy. In fact, I have not changed my skin regime and my steps or my products since the 18th century. So, no, just kidding. But many, many, many years. And because it works. And why? Because it's designed to go with the way the skin works. The skin's never going to change the way it works. So we're going to go through that with you, and then I'll take you through the steps of what you actually do, correct manipulation, a lot of important things that you need to know just with any product that might be in your drawer. But I want you to, this is very casual, give me feedback, whatever, and we'll just play. Great. Okay. So let's start with skin and the way we're born. I mean, we're born with that perfect baby skin. When you feel a baby, it's like, oh my gosh, no pores. It's perfect skin. And so it's so many times we think, well, you have perfect skin until maybe 11 or 12, and then those hormones start, and then mothers usually will think, oh, well, you can't wear makeup because you're breaking out and you have acne. And so everything starts to, every moms look at their daughters as, well, let's mask the problem. Let's go to the doctor, let's get on tetracycline, Accutane, which is not around. But they think, well, that's just the way that girl is. I mean, she's just going to have acne. But it's what she's not doing at that point to control her sebaceous glands when they do start overacting and during puberty. And it's the same with boys too. Boys have acne. It's not because of wearing makeup, or it's always just cleansing their skin. And then as we get older, we can have adult acne, and we can be doing the same thing that we were, doing prior, but the whole, all your own age group of whatever issues and problems you're going through, it can be caused from hormones, but those hormones can be regulated, and we'll kind of show you how we do that without medications. So there's an alternative way to do it, a natural way. That's what I'm all about. So, for instance, right here, this is baby skin. This is a way, we're born in. And as we, like every day, we get over 10 billion new skin cells every day. And you can't necessarily see them, but you can after there's buildup. Or, when you put makeup on or someone, you'll see, oh my gosh, you can see that makeup. It's really not the makeup, it's a makeup that you're putting over the dead skin. It's like we take our clothes off to shower. So we can't clean unless the dead skin is off. But when we know that we get this new skin every day, we have to think, how do we get that off? Because it becomes a layer. I mean, it's like a barrier, like a Band-Aid to the skin. So if you get over 10 billion new skin cells a day, then moisture can't go in. And after, 5 or 6 days, that buildup goes and stays, and then you put moisture on and you wonder why you're so dry, because it can't go through the barrier. This is psoriasis, which is an excessive cell growth, but it shows you kind of the buildup of the dead skin. So imagine if you're putting moisture on, how it can't go in. So let's say that you're, think back with me, like when you were 12, or 11, whenever you were going through puberty. You might have started getting whiteheads or blackheads. I mean, you look like you've got great skin, and you're not that problem child, but we go through it. I mean, sooner or later, we're probably going to see little pimples pop up, even if it's around your period or whatever. So basically what happens, your sebaceous glands will overreact. The hormones kind of trigger those, and the sebaceous glands will overreact. And when they do overreact, because you've got dead skin buildup here, or you're not getting moisture to the skin thinks it's dry. So immediately it's like, oh, I'm dry. Now I've got to shoot oil up. And when that oil comes up and it cannot come out, then that's what causes acne. And the 4 types of acne basically are the blackheads, the whiteheads, the pustule, the kind you want to pinch. And if you do, it spreads and it ruptures, and it causes more acne. And then the nodular acne, which is more like adult acne. So it's really, all the oil that comes up balloons underneath the skin. And many times girls who may be oily during puberty, they think, oh, I can't put oil on my face. Well, they think they'll get oilier, but it's not the oil that clogs your pores on your face. It's not getting moisture to the skin, which signals to your sebaceous glands that you're dry, and then that oil comes up, and that's what pockets underneath the skin. So the key to skin is removing the dead skin and getting moisture in there and keeping it. So that's what I'll kind of go over with you, and what I have found that will help normalize the skin. Because let's say if you're real oily, most of the time mothers will take their daughters to the department store or place and like, oh, I need this line for oily skin. You use it, it gets oily. I mean, you stay oily because it does strip your skin of the oils that are coming up, but by the end of the day, you're oily again. So it's just a cycle that continues. But by getting by getting moisture into the skin, that helps normalize. But there is a method. So for instance, you wouldn't condition your hair and shampoo it and expect it to respond. Our dishes are always in a cycle of cleansing. Our cars, washing machine, all of that has to be in a cycle. And a lot of women, I think, get very frustrated because they think one thing's going to work. Or this is a deep cleanser, it's all in one, and your skin really can't respond that way. So the first thing we do is we do an eye makeup remover pad that takes all the makeup off of the eye area with the mascara, and it's an oil base. And I don't like water-based makeup removers because we know that water is not going to remove eye makeup by itself. So of course chemicals are added to eye makeup removers to break up that makeup, and the mascara and all. That can really dry out your skin. I found that a lot of women who are having problems in their eye area or even tearing is a lot of times caused from eye makeup removers that they're using. They can maybe be using a great eye cream or even a moisturizer, but if their eye cream, if their makeup remover, it tends to be drying, and if it's water-based, it's usually the chemicals. So whatever you're taking makeup off with is just as important as treatment. So I think many women will scamp on, oh, I'll just use baby oil, or I'll use, a real quick eye makeup remover with cotton and take it off. But one thing that you want to do is you want to, when you remove the your eye makeup, you want to take it off onto a pad, something that it will come off on and not wind up, a circle around your eyes, the oxides and stains that can stain the skin. And then you have to use something even more harsh to take that off, or wipe it with a Kleenex. You usually don't want to use a washcloth because it ruins your washcloth, and then So we'll start off with eye makeup remover pads, and then we're going to do a cleansing lotion that is oil-based. And you have oil in your skin, even if you may feel like you're dry or whatever, even whatever your skin condition is, we have to break up the oil in our skin. And the only thing that will break that up is another oil. But you don't want to use an oil like a viscosity of a product that's real thick, because it's hard to get off. You rub more, women just rub more. So I designed a cleansing lotion that is very sheer, but it's oil base, and it literally just, you put it on and just touch the skin and all your makeup comes off. So there's no rubbing, there's no scrubbing. When you have a lotion on that you're removing with a washcloth or blotting with a towel or whatever, you never want to use friction with a washcloth. So if you're using a product that requires you to use a washcloth to rub, you're defeating your purpose. So the removal of everything is important. So I'm real big on removal quick, easy, comes off on something but not back into the skin. So with the cleansing lotion, it breaks up your oils, it removes your makeup, but it is not a deep cleanser. You can't cleanse the skin deeply until you get the oils off and you get your makeup off. After that, we'll do a freshener. And you've heard of toners and astringents and fresheners. I do a freshener that cools your skin down. When you cool your skin down, you're going to absorb moisture. It helps restrict the blood vessels. It helps a lot underneath eye for puffiness. You know, you've heard of cucumbers, cold cucumbers. You want something that's cooling to absorb the moisture. So when you do the freshener, it really cools the skin down. It takes in the moisture, and basically it kind of like bubbles up your dead skin before we do the exfoliant. I've been told for so many years that women will not exfoliate every day. It's just a step they're probably not going to do. So that's when, all the alpha hydroxys and glycolic acids and everything have come on the market for the last, 15, 20 years, because these companies know you need to exfoliate, but they're not going to make something normally that you would have to do every day because they don't think the consumer will do it. So, and it's too hard to reprogram and retrain sales associates and all to tell them, well, you exfoliate every day, but then over here you don't have to. Well, what's going to happen? Women will take the easy rate out, their easy row, and then they will do it every third day. However, when you go that long without exfoliating, think of the dead skin buildup you get. So let's say you exfoliate on Sunday, and you don't, exfoliate Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, you've got, 30, 40 billion, skin cells. So then you start getting dry, and then either you're oily, and then you're like, oh, that feels so good to exfoliate. Now my skin feels so smooth. It should feel that way every day. So I think the one thing that I preach the most is daily exfoliation, but you can't use a harsh exfoliant. It can't be real abrasive, and the freshener that we do, that goes into the skin to help bubble up that dead skin. If you've ever burned something in a pan, and you want to let it soak, you let that soak so it kind of loosens that up, and you don't have to use a Brillo pad to, ruin the Teflon. Believe me, I know I burned some things. But it's the same way with your skin. You want to loosen that dead skin so that you don't have to have a real strong exfoliant to get the dead skin off every day. Does that make sense? Now then, once you get the dead skin off, you've got to put moisture in, because cleansing your skin is different than moisturizing. You've got to cleanse. When your skin is clean, then you're going to absorb the moisture more. You're not going to put that moisture on dead skin and absorb into the dead skin and your skin not really get it. And the moisture has to be water-based, because if the oil is in a moisture lotion, how can it go in? It's like vegetable oil and vinegar. They don't mix, but you've got to get the water in, so it doesn't need oil in it for penetration. And then we lock it in. Any moisture lotion that you use, compounders, chemists, everybody's told me this for years, and I've seen it. I don't care what moisture lotion's on the market. If it's water-based, which it needs to be, and your first ingredient should be water, it will evaporate in about 15 to 18 minutes. Have you ever put lotion on and after a while it feels dry and keep putting it on? Moisture is going to evaporate, so you've got to lock it in with oil. And we'll go through these steps, but sometimes even young girls will think, oh, I don't want to wear a night cream that has oil in it, or it's going to make me oilier. Not when you put it on clean skin. When you're putting it on clean skin after your skin has absorbed your moisture, oils, like we use mineral oil in my creams and my night creams, which is, I will die before I would change that, because mineral oil is a huge molecule. It's a very large molecule, and it won't go in the skin. It is designed to basically seal, but you don't want to seal or you use night cream if you're layering it on top of dead skin. That's when you get into trouble. But you do want to use a mineral oil base to lock in your moisture, and then it's not going to clog, and it really stays on.